welcome back to my channel, Boomtown here. So for I'll be discussing what I feel personally are the more prominent characters to be focusing on. So especially if you're a newcomer here, not just to my channel but to the game itself, I hope this information proves useful to you. This is based on what I've experienced thus far as a newcomer as well. I've been playing for slightly less than a week and I've seen what are used frequently and what are actually good and used frequently. So like even if some characters are used frequently and it's not that good, I will not specify those characters. I'll start off the list with a 3-star. Please bear in mind that this entire tier list is not even a tier list, okay? This list, more like a list, is really personal. It's based on my own findings, based on my own logic. Okay, so moving on. First we have Wiggle. Alright, so he's an extremely good tank destroyer. He straight off the bat, right? You buff him up, goes turn 1, bam. He can kill up to 4 defenders in one go if you put him in the middle, or you can kill like 2 or maybe 3 if you put him at the top or bottom. So his damage is insane. Right now I have mine at 5-star, which is a really cheap investment. Just 5-star, and he's doing upwards of 10,000 damage with Arenis as the main support. Arenis is a support that you get at the start of the game. So these two, they make a really good combo. And also he stuns for a really long time. So it just says 4 turns here, right? But actually, if you max it out, he stuns for 18 turns. So even if you do not kill that character, right? Like let's say Lucius, if you do not kill the Lucius because he revives, he's like stunned for the entire game. 18 turns. And also there is an incoming damage boost, which is always welcome. So if you do not kill the character, well, maybe your tank can just poke him and he dies. Poke the guy, I mean. Okay, so moving on. Wiggle's great. We have Ron next. He's a really underused character, but I've seen him pretty regularly in the novice arena. His major role is just a tank. So he taunts for 12 turns, has a 30% incoming damage reduction, as well as a 95% agility boost. So what agility does is this. When partially, okay, look at the bottom. When partially hit, incoming damage reduces by 35%, enemies debuff duration time reduces by 50%. So that means that he already takes less damage if he has a maxed out agility, which he will have if you max him out. This thing goes up to 95%. So after he attacks, he taunts and he has a permanent graze. Graze means like if you really trigger that agility, you will graze the target, so you minus 35% damage. And he also has like a reflect additional damage. I mean, this isn't that significant because I would assume that if you're going to build him as a tank, you will build him as a tank and not a DPS, so this seems like petty damage. Sorry, I'm losing my voice, by the way. It's really getting quite bad. Next we have Meron, the last of our warrior 3-stars. Meron. She's used widely in novice arena, so if you do have her, keep her. Make sure to max her skill because she becomes a beast. Her silence, she has a silence on a normal attack that skips and hits in a plus. So that's crazy. So that's like all your defenders, no problem. I'll just skip you. I'll go straight to your DPS. Bam, you're all silenced. What are you gonna do? And not only that, you also cut their attack, and I believe you curse them as well. So you cut their attack even more. So you really render the middle bunch of people completely useless. Yeah, and you even remove their buffs if they have buffs. So you practically nullify you can nullify 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different characters in one go. Oh, and what's more, you actually blind them as well. So I don't know, she's incredibly OP, I guess. But she's just a 3-star and her attack is really marginal. You can see it at max. Even if you really push her all the way, which I suggest you do not, her attack is only 358. But you see her HP is pretty good actually. She has a really good HP. So I would focus more on her defense. You can give her defense runes, you can give her vitality runes, it's up to you. As long as you improve her survivability, she'll just keep working her work. Sorry, working her magic. Next, 3-star, we have Sloan. Sloan, yes. Okay, so what he does is at max skill. Okay, please take note that 3-star characters max out really easily. It's really easy. Within the first week, you have a bunch of maxed out 3-stars. Okay, so what he does is he reflects triple damage to warriors in a form of a poison. So when you put Sloan at the back and a warrior hits him at the back, or you can put Sloan wherever and he gets hit by a warrior, the warrior will take 30%, I mean 27%, but yeah, up to 30% poison damage a turn based on the warrior's attack. So the warrior is as good as dead. Probably in 1 tick or maybe 2 ticks, the warrior is gone. Okay, and you also heal a bit of HP, as if that's not enough. So he's like a tank that really kills the enemy. Like, okay, for example, Sayer, she's a tank that will slowly whittle at the enemy's HP because of that eyeball debuff. But this guy, he's a tank that really kills the enemy, so that's nice. Right, so moving on, we have for magicians, Noelle, I believe. Yes, Noelle. She hits in a really good fashion, so you can put her top, middle, or bottom, and she will still hit everyone because she hits 5 different rows in one single column. And she does a little bit of burn damage, but what's important is that she gets this crit rate boost every turn until she attacks. I mean, for 50 turns, but usually, maybe she can attack twice. Yeah, she could probably attack twice before this buff wears off. And her crit rate just keeps going up. And that's good because she's a mage, so naturally she will want to stack up a lot of crit before doing damage. So given that her base crit rate is already 20%, you don't really need to invest crit rate runes on her, you just need to build up on her attack or her crit damage. And honestly, 75% is really good crit damage to begin with. Usually they start off with 50%. And also she does like you see, the more crit rate you have, the more additional damage you would do as well. But not only that, if you really max her out, which I may suggest in the future, in the long run, her attack is 2.2 thousand. So that's crazy. That's on the level of Wiggle, and Wiggle is a suicide bomber. This girl is just a mage. She can keep on attacking. 2,200 damage. I don't think many 5-star even compare to her at all. So she's a really good force to be reckoned with. And is she also the only mage? I believe yes, she is the only mage that I have seen that does something remarkable. So moving on to supporters, we have I think 3. Okay, Hyunwoo and Julie here. They both have similar roles, even though their buffs are remarkably different. This Julie heals, the other one buffs some crit or something like that. But their main importance is binding purification. So the current meta right now is Hell, who's a 4-star character, and one very good way to nullify this meta is by bringing CC. You can stun her, you can stun Hell, and she's gone, she's useless. So removing attack interference skill, this is widely used in the novice arena as well as the normal arena. So these two characters are really important to keep. You should keep them. I'll especially keep Hyunwoo because her other buffs are really quite useful. Just a little bit, but you don't really need these buffs for Hell, but it's still something. Rather than like some cheap heals and okay, I guess agility is fine. Okay, so they're both good. And then the other one is of course Aranis, the one that you start off with. I believe she has the highest attack buff in the game. I believe. This is what I feel. It goes up to 40%. Really cheap investment, by the way. 40% attack. Really good for Wiggle. I use these 2 combos all the time. Wiggle buffing. Sorry. Aranis buffing Wiggle, and then bam, 10k damage, right? So that's how I achieve my 10k. And she also has like a little bit of barrier, which is nice. Alright. Okay, so now I can finally move on to the 4 stars. Thank you for thank you for sitting around and allowing me to waste your time. For the first 4-star, we will talk about Leto. He is a fusion character. You fuse him with Ingrid, Mercedes, Melody, and Eden. These 4 characters are all 3 stars, and you just need to make them max level, which is like 45. And you can just fuse them into Leto, who is an absolute beast. So he hits the blast, a single back row target, and he stuns them for 12 turns. So the guy is gone. Okay, if you do not kill him, the guy is still gone. He cannot take a turn at all. Yeah, so he does a lot of damage, he does even more damage, and he ignores taunt effect. So if, let's say, the enemy has a Sayer who has successfully deployed a taunt, you're not going to hit Sayer, you're just going to hit whoever Leto wants to hit. And this is why I specified earlier that Sloan is a really good counter for this meta, because Leto is used everywhere, and Sloan would easily kill Leto. Even if Sloan dies, it's a very fair trade. Trading your defender, your Sloan, whose specific role is to get rid of Leto, this is perfect. Another one is similar to Leto, is Yun Rang. Yun Rang, where are you? Okay, this is weird, I cannot find her. Is she here? Is she here? Am I blind? Oh no, I'm blind. I am blind, absolutely blind. Ah, Yun Rang. Okay. She works the same way as Leto does, but she hits 2 targets. So arguably, I would say Yun Rang is probably better, because they both pretty much do the same kind of damage. I might be wrong, but it does seem like they do about the same. If not, probably Yun Rang even does more. And she also silences as well. So so these two are like sort of like the same-ish, but one thing that Leto is good for is you can use him as a fodder for fusion. So when you're done using Leto, when you manage to pull a Yun Rang, you could use Leto to fuse Gunther, who is a 5-star character. Gunther is a warrior that skips, and he does incredible amount of damage. However, you do need to use 4-star characters to fuse him, and one of which is Ino, who is a daily login reward. If you've already gotten her and you have sacrificed her because her kit sucks, if you have done so, unfortunately the only way to replace your Ino is to get lucky in your mileage summon, a 4-star mileage summon, and I think there's like a 3% or 5% chance of getting her. So please do not fodder your Ino. Keep her, even if you're not going to use her, just keep her, hold on to her, and hopefully someday you fuse a Gunther, which I would highly recommend, because Gunther is a free 5-star character that you can fuse, really easy to fuse. All you need is Ino, Leto, and Kyle and Frederica. Kyle and Frederica they're just there to be fodder. Okay, wait. Frederica might be good, but I'm not going to talk about her. Okay, so that's it for Leto and Yun Rang. Next we have Elchi, or Elki, I'm not too sure. Her usefulness comes with this skill because of the current meta being Hell's being used. Well, Hell's predominantly the go-to character, the win condition for every team. She destroys that reflective counter that Hell has, and before Elchi even does any damage. So what this means is that let me show you who Hell is. She's also in my list, so I might as well just talk about her right now. So when Hell attacks, she gets these buffs. No, sorry, when she attacks she gets this Wrath buff, and she also gets a counter. So what Wrath does is whenever Hell gets attacked, she boosts her stats, well, ridiculously much. So she can do like upwards of 20,000-30,000 damage, and also she reflects the damage that she reflects enemies' attack with her own damage. So it's like a counter attack. It's not a damage reflection, it's a counter attack. And this makes Hell incredibly dangerous. The moment Hell attacks, well, the entire enemy's lineup is pretty much dead. They're pretty much done. They can go home. They can stop their auto battle and figure out about rerolling. No, I'm just kidding. Also, she has a taunt which makes all this click. So, oh wait, no, it's not just a taunt. Okay, she has a taunt, right? So like everyone would definitely want to take a hit at her. But she also has permanent masochism, which means that whenever the enemies take a hit at her, they die, and at the same time, Hell doesn't die because she heals herself. Yeah, so this is extremely broken. But from what I understand, Hell has been this way since forever. I've played beta before, and I think she was also like that, but she wasn't that widely used for some reason. Okay, so this is Hell, and as I was saying earlier, Elchi, she immediately just destroys that counter, and well, she also like does a lot of things like removing barriers and stuff, but this is the thing that completely nullifies Hell. So you remove her reflection, and that's it. Game over. Then if you have your own Hell, then good for you, because then you win. You immediately win. Moving on, Zakan. Oops, nope. They look alike. Am I blind? Yes, I'm blind. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, the Leto meta, you see Leto used everywhere. Zakan also works like a Sloan, except that Zakan immediately dies, but he also guarantees the kill. This attack times 250% fixed damage, which means true damage or pure damage from whatever games that you know. It's like you just need to give him maybe 1500 attack and times 2.5. No, attack times 2. Yes, times 2.5. So that's about, I don't know, right? Like 4000 damage or something. So that's enough to guarantee a sure kill. Sloan may not guarantee a sure kill all the time, especially if the Leto has a little bit more HP from their substats or something. Rune substats. So this is Zakan. Xenon, he is also good. He has permanent masochism, so whenever he gets hit, he heals. And he has a weakening, he weakens enemies' attack whenever he gets hit. So in a sense, if it's a stalemate, Xenon will win. That's the case. Okay, and then he also bleeds defenders, which is it seems good on paper, but honestly, most defenders right now, they do run debuff immunities, so maybe iffy. And he also heals when he attacks, so he's just like, he has a lot of HP. I mean, not he's able to maintain a lot of HP all the time, so he could be good as a tank. I do see him used as tank sometimes. Okay, next, Deka. So this is another character that you might want to consider if you're new. He skips and he stuns, which is really good, and he does okay damage. He isn't like one of the hardest hitters in the game, but his main kit comes from the fact that he skips the defenders in front and he stuns the DPSs in the middle. So just like Maron, who completely nullifies the characters in the middle, this guy, he stuns them, which is equally good or maybe even better. I'm not sure why I don't see him used enough, but Deka is really good. And next, finally, for the warriors, we have Octavia. She's a free character that you get, I think, on your second day. She self-destructs and she charms, but I would say that she's more of a PvE character because you know exactly where to position her, you know exactly how to maximize her usefulness. But for PvP, most people like to run their characters in one single file. So like top row, the whole of the top row, fill out the characters. You're not going to be able to charm more than one character, and the worst that could happen is that they have a immunity, some kind of a debuff immunity on them. So you're screwed. Yeah, and also her damage isn't as much as Wiggle, so you're not going to be able to snipe characters most of the time. Yeah, it's not gonna happen unless you chance on a DPS. But I would not use her in PvP. I used to use her a lot though, but now I just use her in Evil Castle. Okay, moving on to defenders. Don't worry, there's only 2 defenders here, so you don't waste too much of your time. The 2 is Daenerys. She's just a sitting duck basically. She's a sitting duck with a lot of sustain, no, not sustain, but she has a lot of well, net HP, I would say net HP, because she has incoming damage minus 65% as a tank, and she has debuff immunity. So this is what I'm talking about. Most tanks have debuff immunity. Most of the good tanks have debuff immunity, and she has like a barrier destruction, but yeah, that's about all she really does. Prevention of healing. This is okay. This is not too crazy. Could be good against Valtor and some specific characters, but not. This is not really the kit that makes her crazy. So it's just the first two. Debuff immunity and yeah, that. So take note that because of this skill, permanent buff or debuff immunity, she cannot be healed. She cannot be regenerated. So she's pretty much a sitting duck. She'll eventually die, but it will take a while for her to die. She's good because like she can completely block my Wiggle's bomb and still survive with like 20% HP. So that's really good. Next we have Britain. He is a tank, but he's actually more like a off DPSC kind of character, because if you do push him to 6-star, which I highly recommend you do, this, look at the defense times attack times whatever. So if your defense is like 50%, you would be 75. You'll be increasing your attack by, is it 75%? Okay, I'm not really doing the math right, but yeah. So adding defense boosts your attack, and at the same time, you get a defense before battle times 125% increased attack. So you're always increasing your attack by your defense, and you're boosting your crit rate. He's like an off DPS character. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, and he also freezes in a single file 3 rows. This is extremely OP for the current meta where everyone likes to put their characters in one single line. You will freeze half of the entire line, and as you see, when you max him out, all enemy stats minus 35%. Why not, right? Why not? And then there's like some actual tankiness aspect, defender aspect to him. After being attacked, he reduced their attack. So he's really good. Okay, moving on to the mages. There are 4. I use Choco a lot, but I wouldn't recommend him. Okay, Esther. She's a tank destroyer because of this. She does incredible damage. However, she takes 1 turn to trigger. Whereas Wiggle, on the other hand, can do it instantly. And Wiggle is also a lot cheaper. He's just a 3 stars, easy to max. So I would say she isn't that useful because you already have a Wiggle. But again, she secures the kill most of the time. Yeah, there is a pretty good chance that she will definitely kill the tank. However, her attack pattern is like that. It's an X. So it's not so good for the current meta where everyone likes to be in a line, and Wiggle attacks in a T fashion, which means that he could potentially hit an extra target more often than Esther could. So I would say that Esther is good because she does what she does, but she takes a whole turn. Okay, next Lucretia. She's just a typical charmer. She skips, which is very important. She skips and she hits in a T, and she charms. So this is great. If they have Foxy in the middle, if they have Christina, bam, their whole line is screwed. This is okay, and she has debuff immunity, so Lucretia can never be stopped. You cannot stun her, you cannot silence her, you cannot do anything to her. She will do what she wants to do. You cannot do anything about it. Okay, and yeah, this is just something extra. But yeah, most importantly is she's debuff immune and she charms the mid row. Sorry, not mid row, the middle group with her skip. And next we have Zaka, who is incredible. His damage is really good just because of his first 2 skills. As you see, it says before normal attack, enemies all stats minus 35%. So if they have like defense, I'm not sure whether does it really cut off 35% of their defense, or does it just remove 35% of their defense. But however, you also remove their agility, you remove their attack, you do a lot of nonsense to them, and you even boost the incoming damage that they receive before your normal attack. So that means, bam, when you attack, you'll be killing a lot of things. Okay, please note that he skips and he hits in an insane 3x3 square. Okay, that is crazy. And also he has like something extra against warriors, like why not? And extra silence, why not? Let's make him even more OP, that's fine. So Zaka is actually one of the characters that I really recommend. If you really want to go mages, Zaka is it's a really good choice. And of course there's Hel, I've talked about her already. So moving on to the support. I'm actually referring to a piece of paper where I wrote down all the characters' names. So we have these two combo. Please note that they are not a couple because she's a kid. Basically, you see their attack pattern. It's the same, sort of the same. However, one goes from the back, one goes from the front. So, for example, you could put Ceres in front as a tank. You could build her tanky, put her in front. Then Vincent goes first. He will buff Ceres and buff the other three behind Ceres, and also he will give Ceres a little bit of barrier so that she survives. And then Ceres can go on to buff an Arenis at the back of the line, and then Arenis can buff the 3 DPSs in the middle. So as you can see, the 3 guys in the middle are actually getting 3 stacks of buffs. And this is a very common combo that you see in the arena right now because a single foul is the meta. It has been a meta for a long time. I mean, apparently it has been, because like since beta I've seen this lineup really common, and even now. So yeah, Ceres and Vincent, they go together. So if you have 4 stars mercenary selection ticket, you do not want to go for Gunther, or you maybe you already got Kyle and Frederica, you could select these two and you're quite good to go. Just make sure that your DPSs in the middle are solid DPSs. Next we have Serendia. She has silence bestowal, so when she buffs her allies, when the allies attack, they will silence the enemy for 12 turns. That's overpowered. And she also boosts their attack, and also she removes their debuffs. It's not just removing attack interference, it's not just removing stat reduction, it's not a specific thing, it's a general removal. So you remove all kinds of debuffs, apply to allies, which is really good. I have to specify this, it's really good. She is OP, however, the game knows this, that's why they gave her a +9 to unlock. It's not +3, guys. So you only get that skill when you max her out. But I feel like she's worth the max. I don't know. I might do her. I might max her out someday. And we have John for the very last character that I personally approve of. He gives taunt to your ally. One ally, just one guy. One guy, one taunt, one barrier, one debuff immunity. And I think this one is like just for him. Okay, I'll talk about that later. So he gives 3 different, obviously very important buffs to a single character. So usually have tanks without taunt, and those tanks, they have a reason why they do not have taunt. That's because they'll be incredibly overpowered. So you really could make one of your defenders insane by giving them what they lack, which is debuff immunity and a taunt. So for example, well, Mammonia has a debuff immunity, I believe, so this doesn't really apply, but Mammonia lacks a taunt, and if you give Mammonia a taunt, she becomes a really good tank, because her HP is high, her energy guard is there, she can soak up insane amount of damage. This could be really broken, I'm not too sure right now, but just based on the look of this kit, there is, yeah, like I said, there is always a reason why some characters do not have taunt. Okay, and giving them taunt is what makes them even more broken. So, having said that, these net 4s and also the net 3s are who I would recommend if you're a new player. And I mean, even if you're an old player, you may want to consider these characters just because they are so great. I'm not talking about 5 stars, so these 4 stars alone, they are I feel like they are on the level of a 5-star, just because how unique their kit is and how good they perform, how well they perform. Like health, for example, she's on her own a win condition. If she isn't stopped, she just goes. Your team will win just because she's there. The same goes for maybe a few of the characters that I've mentioned earlier. So, with that said, I will end my video off here. Please leave a comment down below if you feel like someone else should have been mentioned that I did not mention, or if you agree or you disagree. Please let me know why, and let me know if you have, is it because you have experience in the endgame meta and things change in the future, or maybe something I said isn't coherent. Let me know. And yeah, leave a thumbs up if this was informative for you, and subscribe if you haven't. I've gotten like a few subscribers over the past few days, and I thank you so much for doing so. It really motivates me to keep on going, and I will really keep on providing you with information that you need and information that I feel that is useful to your Brown Dust career. So having said that, again, I know I said this like 3 times already. I'll end the video off here, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.